Yo, 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 you know what it is. It's your boy Garcia, Talk Your Barber Shit, man. We back at it again. What I say? Talk Your Barber Shit. And I got my boy, Nate Motivates. You know, it's been a long time coming. I've been trying to figure it out, get everybody collectively on a time slot, make it move so we can share this wonderful information, keep it going, keep elevating, keep leveling up. So enough about that. My boy's already on. I'm about to sign him in so we can get it started. I sent you the info, so whenever you're ready, jump on in.
What's good, boss? What's good? What's good? What's good, man? Finally. Finally.
Finally.
Long time coming, but we made it happen.
Hey, that's what it's about, man.
Let me get this phone
I just want to
started up.
say, I just want to say thank you, man. Get situated before I get started. Get situated, do what you got to do, and then we can jump right into it.
Oh, we're good. There we go.
Okay. First off, I just want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to jump on this platform, to get it going, to speak your truth, speak your journey, speak everything that we want to hear more of in this industry we call the barber and beauty industry. So I like to just get started. I like to get personal. I like to know what built you? What got you into this realm of our profession? Like what started it? Family, friends, somebody that snatched you up out of the barber you get in the cut and was like, hey, I think you should be a barber or hairstylist too. Like where did it start?
Man, first and foremost, I want to give you your flowers, man. Thank you for inviting me on this platform, to even giving me the time or the opportunity just to share what I feel will be of value to the industry, man. So thank you for even having me on here, man. Blessed, honored, and humbled. But for me, man, I'm Nathan Galan, man. I'm from Lakeland, Florida, a city out right outside Tampa, Florida. I'm
Okay.
one of five kids raised by my grandma. And so for me, in the beginning, what introduced me to the industry was lack. Lack of resources. My grandma raises by herself. I had no dad in my life early on, and no mother. My grandma was my sole parent. So raising five kids, being four boys, and I'm me being the second oldest,
Yeah.
she got to a point where she couldn't afford the four haircuts, bro. And she's like,
Right.
one of y'all got to learn.
Yeah,
And
right.
so I picked up the clippers, and my brothers used to get zeked. This is why they get free haircuts for life, when it comes from me. But that's how I picked up the clippers for the very first time.
Man, that's dope, man. Like, we all have a background and we always have someone that's very spiritual and loving to us that catapults us to an industry or a lifestyle that we didn't even think of at that particular moment. So your grandma was like, hey, I love you. I know you need these cuts, but you need to put these clippers in your head and make them work.
Yeah, that was exactly it. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't even in the forefront of even becoming a source of income for me. It was just like I
Yeah,
said, more sense of desperation. Like we had to get fresh. You
yeah,
know what I mean? So
yeah, we
someone had to
do.
do it, and so for me, I just did it. And so that's how I started. But what got me into the industry, man, was just by the grace of God, got my I played college football, got my
Okay.
degree,
Oh,
and I actually got my degree in education, and through that degree, I afforded to get a job as a school teacher and a head football coach at the age of 25. That moved me from my hometown in Lakeland. Lakeland's a small town between Tampa and Orlando. Like if you had
okay.
to put a middle point of where between Tampa and Orlando, that would be Lakeland. And so
Okay.
that's where I'm from. Well, this job opportunity moved me to Tampa. And so I moved to Tampa back in 2013 for the job. And when you move to a new city, man, you two things. You gotta find somewhere to live and you gotta
Right.
find a barber.
Barber.
You know what I mean? So through that, mutual friends connected Chris Bosio and I. And at that time, he wasn't the YouTube Chris Bosio. He was the 25-year-old Bosio that only owned two shops. And
Okay.
so I was blessed to become his client, you know what I mean? And just through watching how he was doing business, it intrigued me on the professional level. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Coming up, I gained a little bit more interest through watching my childhood barber, who is now Don Cuts on social media. His name is Jorge Massa. but he was
Okay.
my childhood barber, and just seeing the two men's evolution in the industry, it piqued my interest in becoming a professional in it. And so, fast forward, I end up, catching me honestly a non-moving DUI, man, teaching, and it cost me my job, but it made me realize like someone else controlled my money, and that right there was a wake-up call to me, and it really piqued my interest into entrepreneurship, because then it was like, hold on, man, if someone's gonna be my boss, why can't I be my own?
Yeah.
And
Talk
couple
about
that, with watching Chris Baggio grow. I'm like, hold on, bro, like you really making money with that thing?
it. Right.
Like, yo, put me on. And he's like, go get your license. So that's what I did. Got my license, and here we are, 8 years later, man.
Hey, 8 years. I mean, you sound like with the knowledge that you pushing out, you've been in the game longer than 8 years. But
Yeah,
that's
man. I
dope,
got
man.
I got a lot of life experiences, man. So when I
Yeah.
came into this industry, for me, I feel as though I came in with a little more heightened appreciation for the
Yeah.
opportunity that was at hand. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because I got finances stripped away from me. I lost, I dirtied my own name. You know what I mean? I had to clean my face back up in the public. You know what I mean? Because at that time, being a head coach, 25, I was a lot youngest coach.
Yeah.
One of the very few Latino coaches in the state. You know what I mean? And so that took a little personal, rebuilding and redeveloping. You know what I mean? And so when I came
So
into this, it's like, man, hold on, man, I got to take advantage of this opportunity.
yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of people that come from environment of like sports come from a certain type of household. Their hunger is a little bit different. Their motivation is definitely a little bit, it's peaked a little bit higher. So to hear like your lineage of like where you how you came up to take the passion that you have for football, but also take it into education, then sit down with two people that have sparked the industry on a whole different rective scale, and to sit there and just be mindful and be open to the possibility to be like, hey, I can be I can build myself, I can be in these rooms with these cats as well. So to be able to see that and go through, everybody got to go through some trying, got to go through some falls and then see how they can build themselves up, and to hear how you did it, that should motivate anybody once you step in the room and speak and tell them, it's hard to maybe sometimes share a lot as a profession or as a spokesman about your journey, but I think sometimes for like certain people they need to hear that because they might be going through that same thing at that particular moment and be like, man, how can I bounce from it?
And,
So,
and honestly, bro, I think
yeah,
you're speaking 1,000% facts. And something about me, and I think this is what I know that has separated me in the industry, not just in the industry, but just in the platforms that I'm a part of, is that my mess became my message. The test in my life became my
yeah,
testimony. And I feel as though like God's called me to be a voice of what I've been through, because again, I needed someone just like me at some point.
yeah,
I needed someone that looked like me, talked to me, that came from where I came from. And although it came in different people in different shapes and different forms, I just needed to see that they did it, so I know I could do it too. You know what I
fact,
mean? Because I know, and again, this is not, it's not about being judgmental to anybody or comparison, but it's sometimes you just need that little level of belief. You need that spark.
yeah,
And so for me, I just knew that for me, what separates me from a lot of people, I am who I am. There is no, I'm a gatekeep, a part of my story because I'm ashamed. No, I
yeah,
became unashamed the moment I understood that I've been already delivered through it all already. You know what I mean? So the shame already left me already. So the DUI I share openly. You know what I
yeah,
mean? The fact that I Ubered for 3 years, spent over thirty
yeah.
thousand
Right.
dollars Uber and lifting. I didn't have a driver's license for 6 years. You know what I mean? I grew up on Section 8. I grew up on government assistance. I used to donate blood just to pay my bills after my DUI. Like, there is no shame in it, because now I can testify to the fact that in the last 2.5 years, I've been blessed to get married, buy a home, and I just signed a lease for my own barbershop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, that's not to brag, boast, you know what I mean, or think I'm better than anybody, but let me
That's your,
tell you where I came from.
yeah, that's your
You
story.
know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's
yeah.
the so
Yeah, I love that, man. I love to hear that. Like, we don't share a lot, and I sometimes, it also depends on who you're talking to for you to even want to share those moments. But when it is shared, I hope that a lot of people that are in front of you, because they see what you have done or they see where you're going, or how your platform is building, that they understood or understanding that it took hard work and dedication for me to get here. It just didn't happen overnight. So
Yeah, I just want to lay the blueprint to anybody out there that
yeah,
really wants to find their place. Like for me, what people don't know is like you see everybody's seeing the glory, but do you know the real story? Like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I told you about the DUI. Yeah, I told you about, some of the ways it came up, but I haven't even touched the fact that for 4 years, Sean Cuts here and we paid our own ways to go to shows. Yeah, we was working the booth at 245, but
yeah,
we was just showing them that we were people of value and that once we understood and where we found our fit, that we could become a voice in that lane. You know what I
mhm,
mean? For him, he was one of the most consistent people dropping YouTube tutorials when it comes to cutting hair and shear cutting. You know what I mean? For me, I didn't know what it was at first. You know what I mean? Like it took a little while. I didn't want to be that, again, no knock to anybody out there, but at that point in time, I felt as though there was an influx of YouTube barbers doing tutorials, and I didn't want to just fall into that continuous realm of being one of those people when I really truly wasn't passionate about doing that.
yeah,
So for me, what I had to do is I had to keep showing up. I just had to keep showing up. I kept putting myself in the rooms of, one day, once I do understand where my voice is in this industry, it's going to pay dividends by continued networking. And that's why I go to expos. I went with intentions to shake hands, to meet the right people. What's your name? Go to people's booths, actually support them, buy their stuff,
yeah,
educate myself about it. Then, so whenever I'm posting about it, they can put a name with a face and a face with a name rather than the thousands of people that just at clipper companies and hope
yeah,
for a breakthrough one day. No, man, you got to go out here and meet people. You know what I mean? Fast forward to now, some of those same companies now are hitting my line now. You know what I mean? And blessed to have sponsorship with those companies now. Like it's a blessing, but it came with sacrifice too, man. Like I traded my club money, I traded the hanging out for opportunity that I knew would come someday if I stay consistent long enough.
yeah. You know what? Especially to go back to what you said about, looking at longevity and growth and what really matters. Like you speaking on like, family, speaking on you getting married, speaking on you having property. I understand, the whole concept of like a lot of other things that's being shared. And, I don't need to really go into all that, but I love when I can really sit down with individuals and really pique their mind and hear like the real growth, the real factor of this industry and where you want to take it. Maybe being a leader and speaking at conference and sharing your knowledge on different products or whatever you set your mind to, or being like you said a teacher, going to school and maybe open up your own school, sitting down, figuring out how you can help the next generation grow, talking about financing and all that other stuff. I also want to jump into like the barber shows. I love what the barber shows could generally consist of. I know it's certain things that I wish I would see a lot more, but like you said, it's all about connecting, building relationships, and just seeing the whole spectrum of what it is and what it can be. So I'm glad that you touched on that. Like, what is it that you know what what is the future of barbering that you see, or what you like to see more of? Like, is it at this point? Are you happy with the concept of what barbering is taking at this particular moment, or is it something that you would like, to what you doing with your platform, with your social media, that maybe spark the next, like Pac said, maybe I won't be the one that change it, but I'm gonna spark somebody's mind that's gonna elevate them to do it.
Oh yeah, and for me, and honestly, bro, like I in my heart of hearts feel as though through my testimony, what I've been able to not only accomplish, but the people that's around me. You know what I mean? Like the circle, the mentorship. You know what I mean? I just saw my boy D Walker come on here, man. This is a man that picked me up when after I served a 30-day sentence. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? He's seen the journey now. So for me, it's very important about the circle that you keep. You know what I mean? And the conversations that you're having. And for me, what I feel about the industry right now and what we're devoted about into is education. You know what I mean? And the best education comes through the conviction of people that have been through it, the people that can actually testify to exactly what they're teaching. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there's with this information age that we're in and this evolution of AI, and how there's so many quote unquote people that's out here trying to be coaching that really don't have no true life experience. You know what I mean? And so for me, I feel as though it's like those of us that do have experience, it's our job to make sure that we're teaching the next person and helping them, what I mean, not make the same mistakes that we made. Like, what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, why would I want to let one of my fellow barbers wait till the age of 36 to buy their first piece of property when I know I can help them buy it at the age of 20? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If I just tell them, hey, listen, bro, just really hold down your bread and report your bread for 2 years, because after 2 years you get qualified for a first time home buyers that I didn't know coming up. I swear on my life, I'm only the second person in my family to ever buy a house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My whole family lineage, like for me to know of. You know what I mean? And so you just don't know what you don't know. But for me, I just feel I've been called now. Like I found my voice, and my voice is through my testimony of the fact that look what God did in my life through education, through mentorship, and we can make this industry so much better by just helping the next generation. So for me and my team, we've devoted to that. So we literally just announced today that we're actually going on the 6 city tour. Started in January. This is Bazio's first tour in over 7 years. So it's going to be Bazio, myself, and Dre. And we're actually going to be teaching the business principles, marketing strategies, the systems that's helped us not only scale to over 12 barbershops in the Tampa area, but now also we have over 1,000 members in our mentorship program where, we have testimonies continuously on whether they're opening barbershops, buying houses, because we're teaching barbers and we're teaching this industry that you can reap the benefits of this industry in the time that you have in it without waiting 20 years and coming out this thing with arthritis only and nothing to show for it. You know what I mean? Like, no,
Yeah.
man, let's teach each other how to buy assets. Because here's the thing, by us doing that and helping more other people do it, we bring more respect to the industry. And so a rising tide rises all ships. So if we raise the bar in this industry, therefore we raise the tide. So if we raise the tide, guess what else rises? The respect in our industry. You know what I mean? It's no longer one of those things where you're a barber and people look at you like, oh, man, okay, that's what's up. No, you say that you're a barber. Now it's like, oh, is that for real? I literally had an Uber driver like, oh, man, you make money. And it's like, it's crazy because although it's true, because you got to think, man, like even if you're in a city that doesn't charge premium pricing, even if you're at $25, $30 a haircut, bro, that's more than some people with degrees making
Yeah.
an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was a school teacher, bro, with an education degree, and I was only making at the peak with coaching was only making $37,000 a year. Dude, that's my worst year in my 8 year career in barbering. But that was my 4 year best in teaching.
Right. Right.
That's why I said. That's why I make sure barbers understand how blessed we are to do what we do, man.
Yeah.
It's a blessing to do what we do, dude.
Always, you know, I like to always tackle this conversation as well. So I know after COVID, that's when the industry started to really shift and started taking more of a liking because it gave the real insight of what you can really accomplish and really take to the next level as far as, cutting, pricing, and all that stuff like that. But the thing that I saw less of was still leadership because the way that the barbershops was run before, like you said, wasn't run to the capability of a business mindset. A lot of people was hiding cash. It wasn't reporting cash. It wasn't doing that, a lot of stuff.
They're still doing that.
Yeah. So then it came to a lot of shops being have to close due to COVID. Some people, like, my mentor, he was able to sustain his and still keep his shop, but a lot of shops that was around the neighborhood had to close down. Now, we in the mindset of a lot of things that's going on where I don't want to work at a shop. I want to get me a suite.
Mm.
I don't want to pay commission, or the owner want to set a new boundary. Let's get rid of renting out the chair and let's do commission. For you to be in this industry and seeing what you have seen, what is the best lineage and concept of like really the moving forward of this? Because I feel like now, like it's still a whole lot of separation now. Like people are coming in, and I don't want to say this like the Hollywood part of the lifestyle. It's like, okay, I can, I can
No,
build my own.
let's talk about it. Let's talk
Yeah,
about it. Let's talk about it.
yeah.
Absolutely, you're
Yeah,
absolutely right. I mean, let's start in the beginning. So here's what happened with COVID.
yeah.
COVID glorified our profession because it was it provided freedoms people didn't recognize until COVID, right? Just like people didn't understand how valuable remote work it was until they had the opportunity for remote working, right? And
Hmm.
so with the industry, what I saw was you're absolutely right, the lack of leadership. But you know, those of us that have a voice now that have to be more louder than the noise. And what I feel as though we got to get back to is the basics. Teaching barbers how to treat this like a business and not a hobby. A hobby costs you money. A business makes you money. So yes, people want to try to do the hustling way and hide the money and not report and don't pay taxes. Well, if you don't want to own anything and you don't want to be prepared for the just in cases, just like most people weren't, they weren't prepared for the just in case of a pandemic. Nobody was really. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
was.
yeah,
But in that same breath, like if you were operating a business and you were paying yourself a salary, then you would know and understand what you should be living off of, and you should know what you need to be making in order for you to sustain the lifestyle that you live. And the only way you know that is by understanding your business. How do you understand your business? You set it up like one. So what I like to say is this: if you want to lose weight, who do you go to?
and you go to you go talk to yourself. And like, I need to get out here and start losing some weight, and
Yeah,
then
but
you
who do you
find,
hire? If you're gonna hire somebody, who you
yeah,
gonna hire?
you gonna
You
hire a
hire a
trainer.
personal trainer, right?
Yeah,
If your car's messed up, who do you hire?
you gonna hire a mechanic,
A
auto
mechanic.
mechanic. Yeah,
All day. If your plumbing's messed up in your home, who you gonna hire?
a plumber.
All day, every day. So when it comes to money, why the hell do barbers that have zero experience in business act like they know how to operate a functional, IRS compliant, bankable business? Why not are you not investing into an accountant?
Facts.
I'm talking to me. The reason why I talk with someone conviction 4.5 years into this industry, I had nothing to show for this thing. I was single, I had no kids, making six figures, and my bank account was living with the week. I wasn't living crazy. I wasn't buying crazy things, but I was just living.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was operating a hobby. We get money cash in hand. That thing comes and goes as fast as we see it,
yeah, yeah.
especially when we're not operating accordingly. If everything's coming out of one bank account, going in one, out one, listen, you're losing. You're not operating a business. You got a high paying hobby. You know what I mean? So for me, 4.5 years into this, I'm like, man, what am I doing? And I had a conversation with Boz. I literally, as a homeboy, went to a friend and was like, yo, um, I don't know where I'm messing up, but I'm messing up.
Facts.
And for an hour and a half, we sat down and broke it down, bro. You got two bank accounts. You need to be paying yourself. How much is your bills? Yep. For example, per safe is 4,000. Okay, well, you need to be paying yourself $1,000 a week. Boom. You want to give yourself a little buffer? Pay yourself 5,000 for the month. Woo, you got 1,000 for miscellaneous. You got 4,000 for all your non-negotiables. Cool. Anything left over, guess where it's staying? In the business bank account.
Yeah,
So guess what happens when something like the pandemic happens? You look at your business bank account. Oh, you got reserves. Oh snap! Guess what? You're a business. Oh,
yeah.
you need a little bit more. Guess what? Now you take your profit and loss statements because you have an accountant and they have that ready for you, and you take it to the bank and hey, can I get a line of credit?
Facts.
Oh, sure. Actually, yeah. Let me see. Oh, yeah. You got business money coming in, money going out. You dispersing it according to yourself. How much do you need?
Yeah,
People don't. That's a business. You think McDonald's is just buying the burgers and not knowing the count? No,
right.
they gonna get theirs, bro.
Yeah.
So we got to make sure that we got to be doing that as well. So that's what we're passionate about, and that's what we're gonna do on this tour, man. That's gonna be my segment of it is teaching you the strategy of having a sustainable, profitable, well organized business. What does that look like?
Okay. Because I always sit back and I look at like franchise, and I always wonder like how they able to sustain, how they able to manipulate and build, keep building, keep finding spots and stuff like that. And I got a chance to watch your boy do a lot of his sit down conversations and stuff, and I feel like when I got in the industry, I was like, I wonder why a lot of barbers or barbershops don't run these kind of concept, um, monopoly kind of mindset to build and keep lavishing and move forward. And you know, I see I see more of us still like competing with each other when we really don't have to. And then I'm trying to understand, like, like you said, it's an industry that everybody can make money, but why is it a point where we have to keep battling each other about who makes what, who does what, who sprays what, and all this other stuff? Like, why is you explain to me what is this direction that we're still in when it comes to this barber industry?
What you focus on expands, right? So for me, I'm very selective of what I'm focusing on, right? Like the enemy's job is to steal, kill, and destroy, right? And so if that's what the enemy's job is to do on a daily basis, you could it can only happen if you entertain what he's trying to steal, kill, and destroy. What I see is the enemy's trying to create a lot of division in the industry, right? And the division in the industry is honestly for things that really don't matter. Who cares who sprays what? Who cares? Like, it's not gonna make you no more money or less money than it's gonna make me. It's all on preference, right? What I rather focus on is how I can make the next person that comes in contact with me and the information that I have to offer, how it can make them better and make this industry better, right? Because I got a little brother in this thing still. He has a son. I want to make sure by the time he gets to this industry, man, like we're working through this thing. So now it's a well-oiled profession. You know what I mean? Where six figures is the standard. That's why we call our mentorship the six-figure barber mentorship. It's not because that's the goal. No, that's the standard we're looking to create. When we want people to think when they think of barber, then that's a six-figure earning profession. Why? Because they should think of, you know what? They know how to run business now. It's no longer just one of those things that it's a neighborhood thing where you're just doing it on the block.
Yeah.
No, like that's why what it is that once you're once the mind has been expanded, it can never go back to its original state. So for me is once you see more or the opportunity for more in this industry. Now more can be signified by many different things depending on the person, place, or thing, right? So you can be talking about more income, we can talk about more exposure, we can talk about more influence, whatever that more is for that person, right? You can find that in this industry if you look for it in the right places. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'd rather focus on those things. All this division on, whether it's race, religion,
Right.
spray this, Clipper company that.
Yeah.
Like, dude, at the end of the day, how can we, black, brown, white, Chinese, Hispanic, Latino, white American, it doesn't matter, bro. Like, I'm cool with everybody.
Facts.
Everybody. I got friends of every ethnicity. I got respect in every ethnicity. Why? I don't see color. I see character. You know what I mean? I don't see your circumstance. I see your possibility. Like I don't deal with none of
Right.
that extra stuff, bro. Like I'm what I've learned and God has done tremendous things in my life in the last 2.5, 3 years. And I accredit it to where my focus went. And my focus started going to more of what I want to get out of life rather than what everybody else is entertaining. And to be honest with you, dog, like it's a lot better on this side of the fence. You know what I mean? Because you start blocking out the noise because that becomes so irrelevant to what you because it's not even a part of you or should be a part of conversation in my opinion, bro. So that's a long answer for a short question, but it's like I'm tired of seeing
Oh
people
no,
want
no,
to
I love
divide.
it. Yeah.
I'm tired of people wanting to divide this thing, man. Like it shouldn't be about division. Like you said, there's enough money out here for everybody. Every time you see McDonald's, guess what the hell you see? A damn Burger King right
Right.
next door. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's getting so bad out here in Florida where we got two different 7-Elevens across the street, adjacent from each other, so they can catch both traffic flows.
Right.
Because it's that much money out there, bro. Like it's so, but only in our industry we're worrying about Peter and Tom and what they're doing down the street. No, bro. Like ain't got no time for hate. Just go
I
ahead and
like
just get it.
um I like when people chime in and ask questions. So we have JB Dush Hair. Are you barbers renting or commission? You don't have to
Um,
go on that part, but we could talk about what's the difference between renting and commission, and what do you think about renting and commission?
I mean, I'm blessed. I'm the director of hiring for Headlines Barbershop down here in Tampa, Florida. We have over 12 barbershops. We employ over 90 barbers. Um, and just today announced that I'm actually opening my own headlines now, right? And so again, that's not to toot my own horn, but just give you a qualification of what I'm about to say.
Toot your horn, man.
All our barbershops are
Yeah.
booth rent except one.
Okay.
Why? Because here's what we found to understand, right? With booth rent, everybody's an independent contractor. Everybody wants to be their own boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody wants all that. But we have a machine that we've created over the years where we start to understand the power of like systems. People fail you, but systems don't. How we've been able to expand the 12 barbershops because we have systems that are easy to duplicate when you plug them in. All right. So we got the marketing strategies now when it comes to Google My Business and running Google ads. When we invest money into that, and we've run tests to get it to the point where my boy Jordan's become a master at that thing where we got it to, $4 conversion for a $30 paying client, right? So to where we teach guerrilla marketing. We still got people out there holding the sign. I got a new barber I just started at Sun Lake. He made $1,000 his second full week with us. Why? He works 7 days a week. He went out, he showed up an hour before work. He's holding the damn arrow that says barbershop and he's holding the sign prime time hours. He blocks the time out in the morning. He blocks the time out in the afternoon. He blocks the time in the early evening. Why? People got to go to work, go to lunch, and come home from work. And guess what? He wants to make sure people see him. Why? Because he needs new people. I purposely left him off the app. Why? Because I want him to get all the walk-in traffic right now. Because I want him to meet new people.
Yeah.
I want him to build his clientele base. So I say all that because when you're a booth rental, a barbershop, these are the freedoms that you're allowing your barbers to have. But understand they're gonna have to put some skin in the game if
Mhm.
they want to eat and want to be a part of a well-oiled machine. And that all comes down to the interview process too. You know what I mean? Just like you interview, if
I
90,
was gonna ask you that. That was my next question.
yeah,
Yeah.
we have interviews.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
absolutely we're looking for people that fit the mold. So keep in mind, like we're just like major corporations. Listen, I got people that work HR for major corporations, Fortune 500 companies, and best believe they're looking at your social media. Best believe they're looking you up and see what type. They a lot of character traits can be told through your profile. And this is why I tell people all the time, make sure you're being a direct reflection of who you want to be portrayed to be. You know what I mean? A lot of people are just seeing, not caring about what they're posting, especially barbers. I'm like, if you want opportunity, trust and believe that they're looking at these pages, man. So
Yeah.
make sure you're presenting yourself accordingly. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So all that factors in. So yeah, we run a booth rental shop that has a well-oiled system in place, but we also don't put up with no bull jive either, man. You know what I mean? We're not looking for everybody that wants to work 7 days a week, but we also don't want someone that's being detrimental to the culture. You know what I mean? If you're detrimental to the culture,
Peace out.
you
Yeah.
gotta go. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You gotta go. So
Um, I have another person that came on and asked a question. This is more on the financial and escrow side. So he said, "Do you leave all your profits in the S corp account, or move it over and leave 6 months worth of bills in there?" This is Chase the Barber 100.
yeah, that's my dog Chase. I do a little bit of both. So here's what I do. I invest in my high yield savings account. I have my 6 months worth of my bills in my high yield savings account. I also have a different account for my taxes. You know what I mean? So I take out my money on a weekly basis when it comes to my taxes. All right. Because I had to learn the hard way. All right. I don't like own Uncle Sam. Right. And
Right?
so I still had to start exercising disciplines. All right. To make sure that I'm paying ahead of time. Right. But no. I do leave leftover money in my escrow, but I also want my money making money, right? And
Mhm.
so I'm not gonna leave too much money just laying in there that is not growing. You know what I mean? So that's my advice when it comes to that.
That's dope. Um, Knowing that we all in a different state of like growth, marketing and stuff, like how do you use technology to elevate your branding, but also everything else around you to keep it going and keep the business or the flow of barbering moving forward?
As far as marketing, for me, like I said, we do a lot of live classes. You know what I mean? Yeah, we do these shows, but now we're getting more into our classes. You know what I mean? We want to be a little bit more hands on. We don't want to touch the industry more. You know what I mean? One thing that we feel as though the industry lost was people actually touching people. You know what I mean? This is a people industry. You know what I mean? And so we want to get in front of more people. And so this is why we decided to do our tour. That is just me, Dre, and Bazio, but also Sean and I are doing more live education. Like, was it? We got Vegas this weekend. That's the expo, but we got Canada November 23rd. We're doing a free class out there. And
Oh, okay.
We did Fort Worth what 3 weeks ago. That was a class that we did out there. You know what I mean? So we're gonna get out here more. You know what I mean? We got a couple more dates that we're looking to solidify as far as more educational classes. I got an announcement coming up too that I just partnered with a company that
All
we're
right.
gonna be doing some education. So yeah, man, we got like I said, man, we're gonna be pushing this education real hard, man. And so if
And
you're
what
looking for
is
that.
what is it about the education part that you really want to like really put out there? Like, because I know a lot of things have shifted a lot with the educational part. I don't know if how much it has changed out in Tampa, Florida, but
Yeah, like I said, we feel as
yeah.
though there's an influx of people that, like I said, that are giving good education when it comes to sheer cut. You got people like Barber Josh OP with the DFS formula. You got people like Drastic. He's a monster out here. You know what I mean? You got Los Cut It out here giving a lot of sheer education, a lot of fade techniques and things like that. We're looking to give the education when it comes to wealth building. We want people to capitalize on the opportunity while they have the opportunity in front of them. And what is that? What does your business structure look like? All right.
Mhm.
What does it look like to scale a business? First, for you and foremost, do you have systems in place? Are you sending SMS text message reminders to your clients so you have a higher retention rate when it comes to rebooking? Do you even know what that looks like? What do you ask in order to get a client retained? What type of what type of POS systems can you have in place in order for you to capitalize on product sales? Are you sending everybody to Walmart and to everybody else's beauty supply store?
Okay.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? These are all things that you could be capitalizing on that actually together snowball into the biggest snowball of all, and that's for you obtaining the wealth goal that you're looking to create. You know what I mean? So what does that look like? All right. What are you taking with your barber money? Do you even know what a Roth IRA is? I didn't. Do you know what a broker's account
Right.
looks like? I didn't. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Did you even know what a stock option was? I
Yeah.
sure as hell didn't. You know what I mean? So all these type of things we didn't know, but this is what we're devoting to when it comes to our tours. That through the three of us, you're gonna get three people that specialize in their lane. Like my lane was, I started shops and filled them up. Took a shop over
Hey,
2 years ago. We
are
have
y'all coming
11.
out to LA or what?
Yep, we're actually gonna do LA, San Francisco.
Okay.
So the cities are LA, uh, San Francisco, New York, Dallas, Atlanta,
Because
and
I
Chicago.
definitely need to be in the building for this. So you gotta let me know when you out in LA. So I need to
Yeah,
finish down on
I
that.
actually posted it in my stories, but I
Okay.
think it's hold on, let me see what it's called 6FB methodologies
Okay.
.com. I'll get you that information, but I'll put it in my story.
Yeah.
We're starting in January, man. We're gonna hit the city once a month. So it's gonna be a 2 day intensive hands-on course between us three that we're gonna look to provide tons of value, man. So if you're looking for that type of education, that's what we're looking to bring, man.
You know what I love also about that is when you spoke about being very um, diversified, like understanding what other elements in your barber that you could take to a higher scale. And I feel like shear work and a lot of that is more coloring, perms, and all this other stuff. Like, I feel like that's what elevates you and take you to the next stage. I know sometimes we get stuck on a one particular thing and be like, well, I'm just good at this, so I'm just gonna stick with that because that's what's making me bread and money. But if you don't venture out, I'm not saying you got to learn everything across the board, but just take more insight of what it is to be a true beautician
Yeah,
and how you,
absolutely.
yeah, and
Man, you're
that.
absolutely right, man. I think one of the most embarrassing things that I saw was I was blessed enough to cut at the national championship game for 3 years. And I remember one year in particular, it was Georgia, and I was there with 12 barbers. Three of them had over 20 years of experience, each one of them, three of them. Well, they only did like two haircuts each. And well, you know why? Because they didn't know how to cut with shears, bro.
Yeah.
They were only accustomed to cut one style of hair. So one thing I will say is make sure you're keeping the main thing the main thing. One thing
Mhm.
I started doing early on was I started trying to be a jack of all trades and master of none.
Yeah, yes,
Let's
yeah,
get let's
yeah,
get better at let's get better at cutting hair. Let's start there first. Let's
yeah,
build a clientele, right?
yeah.
And then you're supposed to improve on your skill set in order for you to diversify your clientele base. You want more monies, you got to learn how to cut more peoples, right? And how you cut more peoples is
Yeah,
that you get a whole different skill set. You know what I mean? So for me, that's what I wanted. I didn't want one demographic sitting in my chair. I
yeah.
wanted all different types, and I never wanted to
But
look at somebody like I did early on in my career. I'm like, Oh, I don't know if I could do that haircut.
Yeah.
I never want to be that person, bro.
Yeah. I always look at it like, even for myself when I got into the game, um, being in a certain atmosphere, I feel like I had to like move up my price range to do what I needed to do. But then I realized it's not always trying to upscale my price point, it's more upscaling my skills.
Yep.
You know, what other things can I learn that will draw more people to me to help me elevate myself in this industry? Not just going, okay, I can cut a fade, I can do a taper, I can do a lineup, so I should be charging $85 just for that. Like, no, let me learn how to, press somebody here, or maybe learn how to braid, or maybe do some twists, or things like that that will help me elevate myself, but also elevate my branding. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And simple things like customer service. Like,
yeah,
when's the last time? There's some barbers that don't even know how to have a conversation.
correct.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, you got to remember that we're in a customer service based business and you can't even hold a conversation at all.
correct.
You know what I mean? Like, a substance. You know what I mean? Like, one thing I'm blessed to have been able to do over these years is learn how to have good, meaningful conversations because they have opened up doors with clients that would have never have been open had I not understood how to have the right conversation with the right people.
Do you think, this might be far fetched, it might be like a crazy question, but you think before anyone decides to open up a shop, should it be a barber program that shows you how to be a leader and how to run a business successfully?
Absolutely. I feel as though I don't know if it should be a requirement, but I definitely think it should be something that I'm looking to fill the void in, like for sure. Like because I feel as though that's something that is missing. Like everybody thinks they're a leader, but who's qualified you? Under what circumstance? Just because you're making a lot of money, or just because you feel as though you're the big dog in your city? Like, are you really a leader? This is why a lot of business owners fail because they feel as though they're a quote unquote leader, but they don't know how to lead people.
Yeah,
How to win friends and influence people has taught me how to talk to people. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
my years of coaching taught me how to teach people. You know what I mean? Like that's how I knew God was setting me up for this. You know what I mean? I went to become a teacher, was coaching. So now when I get in this field, and how do you go from one barber to 11 barbers in 2 years for a shop that was closed down? Like you learn how to talk to people, you learn how to build team, you know how to build culture. All that factors in. It's not just anybody can cut hair.
So, what do you like the most about a lot of the expos? Do you feel like they reach out to the culture as far as just barbering across the board, not making it diversified, just bringing everybody together? What is the challenges that you see or the solutions that you might have? Um, let's talk about it.
Um, what I am saying, there is people that are looking to reshape the understanding of what the expos bring. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of us that are passionate. When I speak us, I say 2 and 45 and the people that I've dealt with and my close knit of friends,
Yeah,
what we've been
as you
committed to,
should.
right?
Yeah,
What we've been committed to, but I also have friends that are not in our inner circle that are committed to the same things as well.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And I know there's a misconception because people want to glorify what they want to glorify. But when
mhm.
you really get down to the meat and bones, if you're there with intention and you're looking to get the education and you're looking to get the networking that comes out of these things, it's there. There's people cutting the check. There's somebody. You know what I mean? You just got to find out who the people you need to speak to. It's not about clout chasing. It's not about none of that. But is that a part of the culture? Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. Are there things that's glorified that I don't necessarily care for? Absolutely. You know what I mean? I don't care for the battles. I don't. But what I can say is it does bring some excitement to the shows, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It does do that. And at the end of the day, if that's what's going to sell tickets, that's what people are going to do. When it comes to being culture inclusive, what I would like to say is this, man, we are the culture. So if you want culture inclusive, bring your ass to the show. Be the culture that you're looking for people to be attracted to. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, you know what I mean? We've always been who we are. You know what I mean? That's one thing that's been about 2 and 45. Like, we never asked for permission. We just came into the room and were like, we are who we are. You either like us or you don't. But we never walked with arrogance. We never felt as though we were bigger than anybody. We just stayed consistent long enough to gain the respect that we got now. So when it comes to, you know, culture, what are we glorifying? And if we don't like it, how can we be the change? That's what I like to focus on. What we focus on expands. So if we don't like the state of whatever it is in, I look to be a part of the change. How do I look to be a part of the change? By providing a solution. What's my solution? We got education, live education, education that's valuable, proven to be valuable.
I, I know you said you guys gonna be at the Las Vegas Expo. What
Yeah.
is one thing, or maybe a couple things you want to share that you want to share that you guys are bringing to this expo that is going to be something that people need? It might be some people that maybe are thinking that they want to maybe come to the expo for the first time, but what is it Tune 45 wants to represent and give off?
Transparency. You know what I mean? We are who we are. You got questions, we got answers. We can speak from what our truth is, and that's through our experiences. We got guys on the team that own several barbershops. We got guys that own several properties. We got guys that have investments. We got guys that own multiple barbershops. So whatever it is that you're looking to get answered, that's why we're at the booth. You know what I mean? We committed. We didn't do education this year. There wasn't a time slot for us. All right, but we are going to do some live demos as well. You know what I mean? So live education happening on as we always do. You know what I mean? But more importantly, you can come meet us, talk to us. Like this is one thing we're not. We're not too Hollywood to have a conversation. Have I seen that in our industry? Absolutely. Have I seen like people like you gotta take a number to talk to them? Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Distasteful. I don't like it. But again, what are we going to focus on? Being the solution. You know what I mean? So for us, we're there just to meet you guys. We're there to hang out with you guys. You know what I mean? Vegas is a good time. You know what I mean? So to me, it's a good time to network. You know what I mean? So for me, for when I started coming to Vegas, I remember when I didn't even know who Iced Out was. You know what I mean? Iced Out was one of the people putting this on. But I made sure I shook her hand years ago to now we've developed a friendship because of the consistency and how we've seen each other. I remember when she didn't have, all she had was her mousse product, right? And I bought it because I
Yeah.
wanted to be a supporter to the
Yeah.
culture,
Yeah.
right? Because I wanted us to support us. Okay, I'm going to buy the product. I'm going to use it. I posted, I tagged it. I did that. You know what I mean? Now, fast forward, she got a whole product line now. You know what I mean? It's just dope. You know what I mean? It's just dope. That's what I'm talking about. Let's each one reach one, teach one, man. We ain't gotta be in competition. We got our own products for Tune 45, but I still show love. You know what I mean? That's what true friendship is about. That's what networking is about. You know what I mean? And that's what you can get out of the show, and especially at the Las Vegas Barber Expo. It's Vegas, man. Like, come on.
Yeah. I also want to tackle one more
One
thing.
more thing.
What's your personal growth in this industry? What is it that you want to leave behind when you finally put the cape down, the Sears down, the barber clippers down? What is it that you want to be, mostly known for, or the people when they think of Nate motivates? Like, what is it that you want to leave behind?
What I want to leave behind is that through my story, they were able to gain the belief that no matter what you've been through, you know what I mean? No dad, no mom, single parent home, um, DUI, losing car repo, walking to work, 4 years into barbering, catch a 30-day sentence, had to put up the clippers for 30 days, came back out, walked to work for the next 3 years or Ubered. But after all that was said and done, God still made a way. And fast forward now, I bought a 5 bedroom, three bath house, bought myself and my wife a car, got a barbershop. And that's not for bragging purposes, but that was the testimony to the fact that once you lay the foundation, that anything's possible. So what I want people to know from me is that no matter what they're going through, or no matter what they think they're going to go through, or in the process of getting out of, that if you put your head down and you just focus and sacrifice a season of your life.
Yeah,
I and my wife and I, we sat down 2.5 years ago and we set certain goals. And it's crazy to think of it now. We killed every last one of those goals in 2.5 years.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But that's because we made the sacrifice and we made a decision that come hell or high water, we was putting God first, and everything that we were gonna do, we was gonna have to limit the noise and stay on track. And we're still staying on track. We're far from where we want to be, but we know that through God and our faithfulness, we've been able to get where we got. You know what I mean? So that's what I want to be remembered for, bro.
one of the guys on here, Craig Skills, said, "What is culture? what does culture mean for you within this barber industry? And I know that could be a long, long thing, but just give me something from your point, from your point perspective of what that means to you.
To me, culture is like bringing your flavor to this industry, man. Being who you authentically are, man, and remembering what came before you. You know what I mean? Like that's what I feel is culture. Like what I feel as though where we're getting caught up in this conversation of culture is that people are trying to forget what came before them and trying to recreate it like as if it was their own. You know what I mean? Be who you are, but at the same time, I will always give respects to those who came before me. And so for me, culture is bring your flavor to this thing, man. Be who you are, but understand, treat this thing with respect. You know what I mean? Because this thing is a beautiful thing, and it deserves to be respected, man. Because it's provided us in ways that we could only dream of. You know what I mean? So, to me, that's culture. Culture is just being who you are and adding to this flavorful culture that we already have, which is barbering, bro. Barbering is a melting pot of different cultures mixed into one. That's what makes it being so cultureful. You know what I mean? You being in Cali, I'm being from Florida. We got our
Right,
different
right.
flavors, man. You know what I mean? But
Definitely.
together,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
together, I
Yeah.
don't took stuff from
We
Cali
got we got
barbers.
a
You know,
bomb ass gumbo.
come on, hello. You know what I mean? And so listen, I'm not gonna tell you how to season it, but if it's still fire, it's
All
fire.
right.
Right? And so that's what culture is to me, man. Let's not get caught up on black, white, Latin. It just to me that's smoke and mirrors, man. Let's keep this thing what it's about, man. Let's keep this thing healthy. Let's keep this thing plentiful, and let's keep helping each other, man.
Hey man, I just want to say, man, I really appreciate you coming aboard. We did our thing. We talked our shit. I mean, you definitely talked your shit. I saw a lot of love. I saw a lot of 100%. I saw a lot of hearts and thumbs up. So I just want to say thank you. I know this was a long time coming, but we definitely made it happen. I'm definitely looking forward to chopping it up more with you in Vegas. So I'll see you when I get there.
Yeah, let's go, man. I'll see you there, man. Man, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for having me on here, man. You got a great platform, man. Keep doing your thing, man. Keep being a loud voice in this industry. We need more people like you, man.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that deep down in my heart. I really mean
All right,
that
man.
means a
God
lot.
bless you, man. Keep going, bro.
All right, go.
Yeah.